No matter how much time you spend surfing the internet every day, the chances are you'll never encounter everything there is to see. Lucky for you, I've rounded up some more weird, wonderful, and downright amazing things that you're about to see for the first time in your life. For those who have always fancied a tattoo but are just too chicken to fully commit, allow me to introduce the Silverback Fern, otherwise known as the Pterogramma calamalanos. These ordinary-looking plants can be found throughout South America to the Caribbean, and they have one bizarre talent. They'll give you an exquisite temporary tattoo. Hidden underneath their leafy surface are white reproductive spores which can leave a perfect imprint on tanned skin when pressed down firmly enough. Just don't expect it to stick around for very long. The animal kingdom is a strange place, and it doesn't get much stranger than this creature. This Burmese peacock softshell turtle certainly isn't winning any prizes in beauty pageants. You might notice that this turtle is missing its shell, but its squishy, leathery body actually makes it one of the fastest swimmers in the turtle family. Unfortunately, these awe-inspiring animals, which are native to South Asia, are now incredibly rare, meaning your chances of ever seeing one IRL are sadly close to none. Take a look at this plump bag of nacho cheese Doritos. Looks like the perfect snack for a midnight Netflix sesh, right? Well, I hope you have a sweet tooth because these chips are actually a cake. This betrayal of the taste buds is the work of 23-year-old baker Luke Vincentini, who specializes in illusion cakes. Using buttercream, modeling chocolate, and fondant, he's turned anything from a can of White Claw to a box of noodles into a hyper-realistic sweet treat. You can't trust anybody these days. There's a ton of weird stuff you can encounter in your own backyard, but have you ever come across a furry snake before? This bizarre sight is actually a train of shrews which are in the process of moving to a new underground home. To create this shrewman centipede, the mother shrew emerges first and the babies each bite the base of the tail of the shrew in front. One chain can travel up to 8 kilometers overnight, so this formation stops the babies from losing their way. Turns out they're not doing their best serpent impression after all. Ever wondered what a 9-inch block of ice would sound like after falling down a 450-foot drill hole? Thanks to isotope geologist John Andrew Higgins, who posted a video of such an event on Twitter in February 2020, you no longer have to. And the answer is that it sounds a whole lot like a Wild West movie shoot-up. Glaciologist Peter Neff, who uploaded a similar video of ice falling down a 295-foot borehole in 2018, explained that the sound is a result of something called the Doppler effect, which is the same reason a car sounds different from varying distances. When the ice hits the bottom, sound also doesn't just travel upwards, but bounces off the walls of the cavity, creating those amusing pew-pew sounds. Everything isn't as it seems when it comes to this tray of shrimp at a seafood buffet, which emits a strange blue glow in the dark. Before you freak out, it turns out it's perfectly normal for ocean-dwelling snacks to light up like kryptonite. The reason behind it is simply that these little swimmers had a particular penchant for bioluminescent plankton, which linger in their stomachs. Although they're harmless to humans, these bacteria can make us glow, no matter how many illuminous shrimp you eat. Some countries have far colder climates than others. But can you truly say you've experienced a harsh winter if your hosepipe doesn't do this? This incredibly satisfying instant ice machine was created when someone left their hosepipe out in minus temperatures, only to find the entire thing had frozen. After flexing the pipe and running water through it, chunks of ice began to pop out at rapid speeds. It's a pity this wouldn't work in summer when it's cocktail season. For most people, solving a standard Rubik's Cube is a major achievement. But one brain box known as Cubastic took things to the extreme by solving the world's largest cube on camera. The 17 by 17 inch puzzle is made up of 7 pounds of plastic, 6 sides, 17 edges, and more than 1,500 different elements. Now that's a brain workout. It took just under 5 uninterrupted hours to solve the puzzle completely, which is one mean feat. Speaking of Rubik's Cubes, check out this unique puzzle which has been designed with different distinct textures which are suitable for blind people. By giving this age-old puzzle a tactile makeover, the puzzle now works like Braille, and its alternating lines and solid red color would certainly add a new layer of difficulty for even the most experienced players. You may have heard of Brazil's deadly Snake Island, but Japan has its own, far cuter alternative. an island populated with thousands of adorable little bunnies. Okunoshima, otherwise known as Rabbit Island, attracts tourists from far and wide looking to meet and interact with the bounding herds of furry residents. Some say the critters are descendants of rabbits that were used for deadly poison testing during World War II, but nowadays they live a life of total bliss. Cats and dogs are banned on Okunoshima, so the bunnies are free to hop around without a care. Owls are often thought of as the wise and respected elders of the animal kingdom, but the way you view these elegant creatures might change altogether after you see their legs for the first time. Turns out owls have been hiding a pair of slender pins under all those feathers, and it's enough to freak anyone out. This clip of an owl running might be downright adorable, but you simply can't unsee those long stems now. If that wasn't weird enough, check out these eerie baby owls that were discovered in an attic on an Indian construction site. When the footage first emerged, they were mistaken for extraterrestrials, which is really no surprise. Speaking of weird birds, take a look at this chicken, which seems to be walking around like a human rather than clucking about with its beak to the ground. No one can be truly sure why this feathered freak looks like Foghorn Leghorn come to life, but as it doesn't seem to have any tail feathers, the likelihood is that its aloof stance is a result of a one-of-a-kind birth defect. If there's one thing humans are curious about, it's space. But we'll never know everything there is to know about life beyond the clouds. Thanks to the Canadian Space Agency, there is one thing we can be sure about. You can't cry in space. Well, not properly anyway. Astronaut Chris Hadfield used bottled water to demonstrate how liquid forms a blob around the eye, which then puddles on the face rather than being suspended dramatically in midair. This is because without gravity to interfere, the force of surface tension causes liquid to stick instead of fall. Sorry, Sandra Bullock. This may look like a scene from a gory art house horror movie, but if you track down the right tree and go slicing into it, you too could find it gushing with bright red blood. This disturbing sight is actually perfectly natural, although it's enough to give anyone a fright at first. The tree in question is aptly known as the bloodwood tree, which is a type of teak native to southern Africa. The sticky red sap is produced to help heal the wound and is sometimes also used by humans as a natural dye, but it still looks hella unsettling. In May 2019, a clip claiming to show a diver traipsing through a sea of sand, which was behaving mysteriously like a body of water, went viral online. The footage actually dates back to 2011 and shows something entirely different, but no less astounding. The diver pictured is trying to enter the usually clear waters of Lake Nahuelhuapi in Argentina, which was covered in a thick layer of volcanic ash after a monumental eruption of Chile's Puyehue volcano. In the following days, the lake took on an otherworldly appearance as pumice and ash lapped at the shores like a sea turned partly to stone. Ever wanted to experience the joy of the circus without worrying about how the animals are being treated? I might just have the answer for you, and you'll have to see it to believe it. At the Circus Roncalli in Germany, an elephant, with ears and tail flapping, does a handstand for the audience, and then disappears. This circus performer, like all the other animals, is nothing more than a stunning 3D hologram, created using 11 laser projectors. The circus was founded in 1976, and since 2018, no live animals have taken part. It's pretty incredible, but why not go all out and resurrect some dinosaurs too? Rainbows don't appear too often, but most people have seen one. What if I told you that very few people have actually seen a rainbow in its truest form though? When a colorful arc appears over the horizon thanks to a combination of sunlight, raindrops, and clear conditions, we only get half the story. A rainbow is actually a full circle in the sky, but it's such a rare sight that very few know about it. The trick is to get up high. Pilots are some of the lucky people to see the phenomenon in full, so keep an eye out next time you're on a plane. Pineapples grow on trees, right? Wrong. For many people, the fact that these tropical fruits grow on the ground is a total revelation. Pineapples are known as bromeliad, and the fruit grows from the bushy green spines that protrude from the top. This also means that if you cut the top part of a store-bought pineapple and plant it in the right conditions, you'll get yourself a whole new fruit. If that wasn't mind-blowing enough, check out this uber-satisfying clip of pineapples being harvested by hand, like a well-oiled machine. There's an interesting saying. Have you ever seen a good toupee? You probably have, but you'd never know it. There are plenty of naff toupees out there that are easy to spot a mile off. But this process, showing how a proper hairpiece is seamlessly installed, is totally eye-opening. Once fitted, cut, and styled correctly, this killer hairstyle would last weeks or months, and the adhesive can only be removed using ethanol, so no unfortunate mishaps on a windy day. Power lines are a staple of industrialization all over the world, but I'll bet you've never witnessed the work of those whose job it is to keep them in working order. These brave people are known as high-power line workers, and they're flown in on helicopters dangerously close to the cables before balancing precariously while inspecting wires, repairing insulators, and replacing rusted or broken connectors. They each wear special suits made from 75% flame-resistant Nomex and 25% stainless steel thread, and they use rods to equalize the voltage between themselves and the line before touching it, which is pretty damn terrifying. It might seem like people on the shoreline of Tanjung Tokong and Penang, Malaysia got incredibly lucky as the angry tornado racing towards them suddenly disappeared like an April Fool's joke from God himself, but what you see here is actually known as a tornadic waterspout. These natural phenomena develop downwards during thunderstorms and form over large bodies of water, but they usually dissipate as soon as they hit land. Still, it's enough to get your heart racing if you happen to live by the seaside. Merino sheep are prized for their fine soft wool, but take a look at this absolute unit known only as Chris. Of course, Chris didn't always look like he'd eaten the rest of the flock, but a series of unfortunate events led to him being sheared of a world-breaking 41.1 kilograms of wool in 2015 after going 6 years without so much as a trim. Chris had wandered away from his home in Australia's Little Oak Sanctuary and was eventually spotted near Canberra before being given a life-saving makeover. 1 year later, another farmyard animal named Sheila the sheep hit the headlines after she was also found in the wilderness of the Tasmanian forest carrying 5 years' worth of wool. Her rescuer said he knew she was alive when she winked at him, and she was returned to her home to be sheared and freed from the 21.6 kilograms of wool that was weighing her down. Do you know of any strange and amazing internet gems that just need to be shared with the world? Why not write in and let us know? Just send any footage you find online to clips@beamazed.com if you think it should be featured in future episodes, and you'll earn yourself a shout out. Come on now, don't be shy. Have you seen any of these things before? And which one impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.